Welcome back to another war recap. This weekend we had our third week of the No Dip League, and we matched the guys at 6 Schlitzes. The breakdown on this was a little bit funky because we accidentally spun ourselves a little advantage. So what ended up happening was that we ended up sitting at Town Hall 10 and they ended up sitting at Town Hall 9. So the breakdown of this 40v40 was really a 39v39. So we had 6 Town Hall 11s, 6 Town Hall 11s, 15 Town Hall 10s, 18 Town Hall 9s. Both sides did not have any trouble whatsoever with clearing 9s. And we ended up with 7 10v10 to their 3. And then that last star is that they missed a 2-star on one of our bases down here. So that's the the 5-star difference there. Going to recap these 10v10 hits, and some of them I'm going to go a little bit quicker on because there's a lot of several mass miner and hits like that. It's just the current meta, and so with that, you know, they're not tremendously they're easy to watch on 2 times. So just pretty much a straight mass miner with the heroes on each side pinching everything in. The CC was more max miners, and this defending CC on this base was the Hound Loon. So when you have the Hound Loon, it really makes this attack viable. There were also not a lot of DPS there in the core for the, not a lot of like storages in the core there, so that the miners were able to kind of roll through pretty quickly and deal with both Inferno Towers. Most importantly, it was just really efficient heals, and the heals were spot on. Just great job. We're able to overlap and get several packs of miners at the same time. So this was a sub 2 minute, easily sub 2 minute attack on 2 times speed. It happens really quickly, but not a whole lot of details to analyze. This was a typical bitch attack with the 2 jumps being able to get access to the Inferno Towers. So this is also it's a really quick attack, but you can see how this compartment here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's not going to get all the way across there, but that second jump will open up access to the Inferno Tower for his bowlers and his queen. Had to set a nice funnel. Did a really good job getting this side over here because these were just right out of the range right when he gets this air defense down. Pushes everything into the core, and so he's got a nice little bit of witches and bowlers split out on each side to kind of help keep everything focused in the core. The core has the heal spell there to get everything, keep everything full health whenever they're going through some giant bombs in the bomb towers, and just the raged bowlers and just the those rock bounces are just so strong, and gets down the 2 infernos pretty quickly. Once that's down and you still got full golem out front, you got plenty of tanking, and it's just about waiting for busting through these. And then on the outside here, he's got a witch kind of clearing things up on that side, and on this side he's got 4 whole witches putting out tons of skeletons. They're about to hit this wizard tower over here, so he's losing all of his skeletons, but both golems actually, they're stacked on top of each other there, but both golems still up. Still has his queen phase. Not a whole lot left on this base. I'm going to go ahead and 2 times this guy up while the queen's grinding through walls and everything's just kind of wrapping around. He's going to start losing his witches here to this wizard tower. And other than that, it's just that one last defense and just waiting on everything to kind of wrap around and clean up all the trash. So very nice hit there. Let's see. There's our third 10v10. We actually had just while you're watching a mass miner attack, I'm going to go ahead and let you know we had 2 guys doing 9 packs. So we had 2 guys who got 6 packs on one account and got 1 more. So really nice to have that kind of performance there when you have just 2 guys accounting for 6 of your Town Hall 10 triples. We only have 1 more aside from that, but those 2 guys had a little competition going. So that's always the good kind of competition to get into. Just with this attack, again, kind of mass miner, not a whole lot here in the core, and we were really close to having this, I think, at least 1 time before, and the The heal spell, you could just kind of watch and replay how the heal spell missed some things. And so that was one of the things that was focused on this cleanup here, was to make sure that you're, watching the miners and doing the best to get them completely covered by the heal spells, and just laying the heal spell down so it overlaps multiple defenses. So did that. We knew there was a skeleton trap that was here on this Inferno Tower, so he had the poison down ready for the skeletons when they pop to meet them. If you're into the meta, if you're a Town Hall 10, you know that the skeletons are probably the most dangerous thing for miners, that they just slows them down so much, because even if you have a pack of 20 miners, they're going to focus one skeleton at a time, and they don't have a tremendously quick kind of refresh on their attack speed. So it's one of those things where they sit there, and to get through 5 skeletons, it can take like a full 5-6 seconds while they wind up and strike the next one, the next one, the next one. So having the poison there for that is super important. It's more important than really poisoning the Archer Queen. So that's just one of the big things with the mass miner meta to be aware of. So we already saw Buggy's 1, and so here's Buggy's 2nd. So he was one of our guys with the 9-pack, and this is another heavy miner attack. I think Buggy reeled these two off the first night, so he did a really good job there, setting the tone for us. It was really great to see. It's really, it's one of those things that kind of this was what started the competition of everyone wanted to kind of outdo each other and make sure that we put up put up a good performance to kind of show what we were made of. We were all kind of had a little bit of chip on our shoulders. We just got denied access to CWL, even though I think we're more than active members of the community, and contribute lots there. Whatever, there'll be better leagues. There are better leagues. We'll be glad for whatever competition we get. But so yeah, here's Buggy dropping his Night of the Match 6-pack. Really nice queen charge here. Just had a ton of wall breakers under rage to make sure they get in, and then over here there's just not a whole lot of DPS, but he has one more rage to get down Expo and get down the defending queen here. So steps up. With this, he puts his deploy over here, so he's got his king kind of making this funnel on this side to push, because of how much there's a lot of distance here between these, that they start going and then they funnel in, and then they're all going to funnel straight to this Inferno Tower. So it just puts all the miners right in. The skeleton trap slows them a little bit, but they pop back underground, get nice and healed up, and just wreck the Inferno Tower before they go back underground, getting nicely healed up here with the skeleton trap kind of holding them up. Had another, I think it was a 3rd rage over here for his queen charge. 2nd heal there for his miners. King's coming on around, making that funnel. I'm going to start speeding this up a little bit. Miners are just making their way through. They pathed away from the Inferno Tower, but it was okay. By the time the Inferno Tower ended up being the only thing left up, and the queen and this baby dragon were able to just clean up so much of the trash on the outside and put them right onto the Inferno Tower to wrap that attack up. So really nice job there, Buggy. Nice war. Good work. This was I think this was Buggy's 3rd here. We had a good, one of our leaders in the clan had his phone stolen while he was at the beach. So Buggy ended up doing these attacks. So well done, taking the challenge. I think this was what led to someone else 6-packing, and then Buggy feeling like, I think he was the first with 3. I forget how it exactly went down, but Buggy kept the pressure on another one of our leaders who was trying to keep up, and put in this hit here with just a super powerful queen charge kind of here with no healers, obviously, just got his queen in, had a really nice funnel with the baby dragon, really efficient use of his troops with just a golem tanking it in, some loons that helped off the bat, and queen's able to come in, gets down 2 Inferno Towers, still has her phase, and will be able to punch through this wall eventually. Meantime, he had a couple of cleanup things he started doing out here just to go ahead and start working on some of the buildings that are on the outside. Queen has worked her way through this wall, and here she comes, steps up, puts the phase out, takes down the defending Archer Queen, and Queen's going to die now, so all these expos and all these things getting locked on here, but in the meantime, he was able to like really efficiently funnel in his BK over here. And with that BK funnel and a couple of bowlers, he's going to be able to take a jump and get in here and just get really good value over here and clearing out just a lot for 2 spells and a few bowlers. And his king gives a really nice path for all these hogs that come in. So with all these buffed up hogs, these updates that keep coming that keep buffing hogs have been really nice. He's got a heal spell here that's going to get the bomb tower and the giant bomb, and then also the bowlers are still going to be able to stay alive. They still have plenty of health, and a second heal spell for this pack of hogs that he probably didn't even need, and he's still going to have a third heal that he's going to be able to swag. So very, very impressive hit there. Nice war. And let me fast forward all this. We get the swag spell come down. Nice hit. Some nice to see some hog hits coming in. And here is our other leader. This is D Crazy, who put in the work as well with Buggy. I believe this is the first one I showed of him. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention very well. Just trying to get through these attacks. Another kind of bitch hit. A knight gets in a funnel here and is able to kind of take a efficient way of setting a funnel with a nice little sneaky hog coming in there, getting down that mortar, and then a couple witches are going to just keep on going around, making sure that that stays funneled off, and then just does a good job of getting in a whole lot of bowlers and a couple of witches, and his royals and a golem to funnel right into the core. And here they come charging in, gets that important heal spell down there. This is just kind of this meta of attack where you can take one jump, get into the first Inferno Tower, rage things up, and then a second jump to get out to the other side and then put you in range of the next. This Hound really confused a lot of the troops in here. So you see BK is going to start punching through this wall over here instead of taking the jump. Same thing with the Queen. Now she's going to, she's is able to attack some defenses at least, and then she's going to take that hold that the BK made, and then it's going to put her in range of the second Inferno Tower. He still has his BK and Queen abilities on both sides. Excellent work with just keeping a few witches and a few bowlers coming around, making sure to funnel in everything that was in the core. So great job there. Just perfect bitch hit, well executed. Good job there. Let me fast forward this as we get down these last defenses. Queen still has her phase, and she's able to reach out and get the Inferno Tower there. Excuse me, Archer Tower there, and phases to punch through that last wall, and then the skeletons and the bowlers clearing out the last of the trash. Here is the 6-pack coming through for D Crazy. Another bitch type hit. We were aware of where things were on here, and I think there was a little hole in that base. Is that what happened? I'm going to restart this real quick because I've seen this before and I thought I just missed it, but yeah, I think there's a hole here, and so he's going to barb drop. Yeah, so there's a hole in this base. He's able to barb drop, clear out a giant bomb, and get those Teslas popped. So that will just help because he's going to end up funneling off that side and this side over here. So this is another one of those quick 2-minute blitz through the base with a bitch hit. This is just the meta, if you're not changing your bases, this is a pretty powerful hit. And, as you try to adjust bases for these the troops that are getting buffed occasionally by Supercell, if your bases aren't adjusted for it, they're easy to exploit. But then when you adjust it, then another meta comes back into play. It's just Town Hall 10 game right now is really fun and really interesting, and can be a not just be so difficult at times. It's been it's very, very difficult, and you start getting can get really burnt out on the amount of work you would have to put in to put into a hit and analyzing and then cleaning it up and all that, you know. So was able to, with the second jump, puts his queen where she would be able to access that Inferno Tower, but she gets distracted by the Hound. King ends up punching through the wall, gets down the second Inferno Tower, and Queen is able to sneak in here. And this was probably our closest one here, that Queen was just out of range of a few things because of these walls. She's able to get a lot of value there from her phase, but now is stuck behind a wall. And this Wizard Tower being tanked for just a moment there by that Golem helped out a lot. You see the witches almost get down both of these defenses, and in the meantime up here, this one bowler is up, able to get down just barely, and the Queen punches through kind of all at the last second, just kind of collapses it right there. Cut it really close. Queen just barely hangs on and gets his last defenses down. So that was really nice, and I think that was our last Town Hall 10 triple. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stop this here. No Town Hall 9 hits. When you got 7 10v10s, you can't complain. Good game on both sides. I know both sides were pretty close to getting a couple of 11v11s. I mean, you know, you say close, but you know, it's not that close when they're still 10% and 5-point defenses up. So even if your hit is an 89 or 90%, it's usually not trash that didn't get cleaned. So good game to the guys at 6 Schlitzes. I know they've had a tough week, and so I think this war might have been very bad timing for them. I know they've had a couple of really tough matches going into this, but a good game to those guys, and big shout out to all the guys in Alchemy, all the work that got put in, tons of activity in the clan, a lot of fun to be a part of this war. Very good game. Shout out to all our Town Hall 9s who killed it, and just great war, guys. A lot of fun. We will be back next week with another recap, and hopefully we can continue our undefeated streak. Just don't forget, great is alchemy.